If you're new to investing right now, I get why it feels overwhelming. The market is noisy. Every day, it's artificial intelligence, geopolitics, interest rates, elections. And if you're just starting out, it can feel like you're already behind. I'm Dr. Z. I'm a university professor and a long-term investor. I started this channel to share what I know, what I have learned, and what I'm still learning, so you can make better financial decisions. And here is the important part most people don't tell you. The fundamentals of investing haven't changed. So if I were starting investing in 2026 with zero portfolio, zero experience, and zero confidence, this is exactly how I would do it. No hype, no predictions, no hot stocks. Just a simple, repeatable system that works in the real world, whether market is going up, down, or sideways. And before we talk about what to invest in, we need to start with something even more important. That's going to be our step one. It's making sure your financial foundation is stable. So you're not building your investment on stress or uncertainty. Before you invest a single dollar, we need to talk about stability. Investing isn't built on excitement. It's built on consistency and margin for error. First, you need an emergency fund, which is about 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. The cash you don't invest, don't speculate with, and don't touch unless life happens. Second, eliminate high interest debt. Credit cards and personal loans charging double-digit interest will quietly undo any returns you're trying to earn in the market. Third, know your monthly investable amount. Not what you hope to invest, what you can invest every month, comfortably without stress. Here is a rule I want you to remember. If your life isn't stable, your portfolio won't be either. This step isn't exciting, and that's the point, right? So it's what allows everything else to work. And once your foundation is solid, you can move on to the next question that actually shapes every investment decision. That's going to be our step 2. Deciding what this money is really for. Because your goal determines your strategy. Like you have short-term money and long-term money. They play by very different rules. Mixing them is one of the fastest ways to create stress. Now, here is a simple framework to make it practical. 1. Less than 5 years? Well, cash. If you need this money soon, say for a house, a wedding, or unexpected expenses, the market is too unpredictable. Even a small market drop could derail your plans. That money should stay in cash or a stable account where it is safe and accessible. You're paying for certainty, not for growth. Second, 5 to 15 years. Balanced growth money with a medium-term horizon can handle some market swings. Here, you focus on growth, but with balance, right? A mix of stocks and bonds, you're letting compounding work over time, but still protecting against big drops. Patience and consistency are more important than trying to time the market. Third, 20 plus years. Now in this case, you want to be aggressive. Simplicity. For truly long-term money, retirement, or generational wealth, you can keep it simple and let time do the heavy lifting. Large swings matter less when you have decades ahead. Here, aggressive simplicity means you could hold mostly equities, rebalancing occasionally without trying to predict short-term moves. And to be clear, these aren't my rules, right? So this is how institutional money has been managed for decades. Time horizon determines risk, not confidence, not intelligence, not conviction. You might eventually have different accounts for different goals, but short-term cash, medium-term balanced growth, and long-term aggressive investing. But to start, clarity on how long your money needs to work is the most important thing. And once you know that, the next question is where it should live. That's going to be our step 3. Use the right account and start with just one. You may want to, right? Here is how I usually think about it. Employer retirement accounts, like a 401k. If your employer offers a match, start here. That match is free money. Seriously, don't leave it on the table. These accounts are tax advantaged too, but the main benefit is the employer contribution and helping you save automatically. Then you may consider other tax advantaged accounts like IRAs, Roth IRAs, or HSAs. These give you tax benefits either now or later. The key is consistency, not trying to perfectly time contributions or choose the best option. Regular brokerage account comes next. This is where you can align money with shorter term goals. The big idea is the best account is the one you actually use and use consistently. Don't get stuck analyzing each tiny detail. Also, it's okay to have multiple accounts for different goals. Maybe short-term money lives in a brokerage account, long-term money in a 401k or IRA. That's perfectly fine. It's all about matching the account to the goal and the time horizon. Once your money is in the right account, the next question is, what do you actually buy? That's where we focus on the market, not on stories. The simplest approach, is to buy the market using broad, diversified ETFs. This way, you're not betting on one story, you're participating in the growth of the whole economy. Most professional fund managers underperform the market, not because they are lazy, but because consistently picking winners is nearly impossible. Trying to pick individual stocks usually lead to stress, mistakes, and lower returns. Here is a simple, practical approach based on my top 3 ETFs for 2026 video, right here. Core Foundation, a broad market ETF to anchor your portfolio. Then Growth. It is a symmetric ETF for sectors with a long-term potential. And then Diversification, international, gold, or silver ETF to reduce risk and smooth returns. Once your investments are set up this way, it's time for the final and most important step, letting the system work for you, right? You want to start with the dollar cost averaging, right? You want to automatically invest in the same amount every month. This smooths out the highs and the lows of the market, so you buy more shares when prices are low and fewer when prices are high. Over time, it reduces the risk of trying to time the market, which almost never works. Automation is key. Set it up once, then forget about it. Except for a periodic check, maybe once or twice a year, to make sure your allocations still match your goals. This is also the time for small adjustments like rebalancing if one part of your portfolio grows much faster than another. With a simple, repeatable system, consistent automation, and a calm mindset, you are set for long-term growth. So the next step is actually choosing a platform and opening your account, which is easier than most people realize. That's going to be our final step, step 6. You want to choose a platform and get started. 3 of the most popular platforms are: first, Vanguard, simple, low-cost ETF, perfect for long-term investing. Second, Fidelity, beginner-friendly, lots of investment options and helpful research tools. Now, third, Charles Schwab, easy to navigate, low fees, and strong support. Here's the thing. All these 3 are very similar in terms of usability, the fees, and the reliability. You can't really go wrong. The best one is the one you actually use consistently. And that's it. The 6 steps I would follow if I were starting fresh in 2026. Remember, investing isn't about timing the market or having perfect predictions. It's about building a system that works, sticking with it, and staying calm, even when the world feels noisy. If you found this helpful, hit the like, leave a comment with your questions, and subscribe for more practical step-by-step guidance. Let's together make better financial decisions.